All right, can you guys see this?
Yeah.
All right, sounds great. All right. Without further ado, I think we've been long friends with, close friends with Dora Factory and Dora Hacks. We've been presented several of our iterations in the process of Dora Hacks hackathon and so. So here I would love to present to all of you about the newest updates and what we have been building for the last 3 months. So right now, Ethsign 3.0 is live. You can go on ethsign.xyz, ethsign.xyz to try our product out. Essentially, right now you can upload a PDF document and you can send it to third parties and set a passphrase for that document, and you can sign it directly with the private key, and you have a very clear and transparent lifecycle management of all your documents that store on chain. Before I get into some details of our new updates, I would love to share with you all how we are able to build a fully decentralized Web3 tech stack signing application with all these protocols that we've been using. Essentially, Ethsign it doesn't have any server at all, and even our website is hosted on IPFS and Arweave. So it eliminated all the privacy and censorship concerns. So at end users part, we see a lot of familiar wallet and private key managements, including token, sorry, MetaMask, Trezor, etc. And these are the most common used like DID or wallet that's in the Web3 world. But we also offer Taurus Informatic to introduce the logging with create a private key with your traditional socials, for example, Twitter, email, Gmail, Google, whatever, so that Web 2.0 users can easily access Ethsign without having a wallet or private key, because these two protocols will generate that for them. And we also integrated ENS, where you can directly invite the third party to sign the contract with his or her ENS. Essentially, why we think it's important, because we believe in the future that all the big institutions will have ENS, because it can link with different private keys, and also the ENS can have subdomains and all that. We think is very suitable for in institutional environment. And also, if you lost a private key, you can always link it with another one and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty amazing. And in the middle there, we see Chainlink and the Graph. Essentially, these two protocols are for on-chain, off-chain interoperabilities. And we use the Graph a lot to improve our user experience by letting it to query all the data for your blockchain address on chain, right? So beforehand, it will be a couple minutes to query all the data with related addresses, but with the Graph, you're able to do it within 2 seconds or 3 seconds, something like this. Greatly improve the user experience, I would say. And all the signatures are directly generated from your private key, and we deployed the smart contract in all the EVM in the major EVM compatible blockchains, including Avalanche, BSC, Phantom, Polygon, Ethereum, of course, and Moonbeam from the Polkadot ecosystem. And we store the actual document, the PDF file, in the decentralized storage, and we choose Arweave by default because it is a permanent storage platform that once you store it will be once you pay the fee, and it can be stored forever. But we also offer IPFS, Sire, and Filecoin as well, just to give users a very flexible choose on which one they want to use. I don't know if you guys have already used Ethsign or checked it out previously, but right now we are presenting some of our new features that we do not have before. One will be digital signature verification and contract audit. So for example, if both parties sign a contract on chain and they need a third party in all the company to verify the contract or see if it's on chain, we provide this UI we provide this functionality that actually a third party can verify the document was signed or not by providing the document key and the signer's address. And if it is valid, then it will be something like this. So it will say, okay, the signature is valid, and it will provide with the document name, document key, the additional sign by which address, and also the signature applied date. So when the signature was generated or when it was signed. And here to give a more detail on the whole life cycle management of document, you can clearly see who created it and at what time, when it is shared with third party, who signed it, and when it's stored in the blockchain and stuff, all that. And that is all our first new features, which is called, the verify your digital signatures. And we actually, in our second major updates, is that we're going to allow an email notification that's embedded into Ethsign. So think of right now, the workflow will be when you log into Ethsign, you will be asked to link an email address to your DID. Of course, you're not forced to do so. It's just only for your own user experience, right? If you choose to link your address with the email, then when every contract that's signed on chain, then we integrated the HAL protocol to trigger the implementation, so that each address holder will receive a notification from their email address. So that, for example, right now, if I invite you to sign a document, you will be not able to receive any notification off chain because it's purely on chain, right? You will be only to figure it out when you logged into the platform and you'll be able to see that you're being invited to sign the documents. But right now, with the embedded email notification functionality, that we are able to to send off-chain notification to all the users, so that you can directly get it from your email. And in the future, we're going to also support Telegram, Discord, and etc. So there'll be better UX for the users. And this will be some templates or the email format that you're going to receive. And you can directly click on your email and to link it to the Ethsign and link it to the Ethsign main page. And you can log in. After you log in with your DIDs, you can directly sign it without going to further steps and stuff like that. So we think that's something that's pretty cool, right? For example, right now for DocuSign, it's for email notification. We're trying to catch up that kind of level of UX. And the other problems that we get a lot is that when users they are entering to Ethsign, they oftentimes they're although we listed every of our required steps or our tutorials in our Gitbook, but not everyone is going to go to our Gitbook and to go through it really thoroughly and to check out a tutorial. So that we actually we have also do like a live tutorial where it can guide you if you're a new user, it can guide you every single step that you need to complete a document signing process in Ethsign. So essentially, it will go through where you can upload the document, where you can share with the third party, and where to sign it, where to sign it, and with what format, etc. and etc. So that in this case, all the new users that's new to this platform will be able to go through the whole process of Ethsign and Ethign's workflow, and to really get to know how to use it. Because we believe our UI and UX is actually the user experience is actually very simple. I would say after run through one tutorial, you will be able to know how to use it fairly easily. And this is something that's new to us as well, because in the Sign Week, which is the operation event that we hosted at the beginning of August, we're able to integrate Biconomy to allow users to go on Ethsign and to sign any documents without paying gas fees, so without paying native tokens. So in the future, we are already in design, and we probably announced it in the future weeks, is that we're going to announce something called Signpass. So Signpass essentially is a ERC 721 token, and whoever holds the Signpass will be able to be whitelisted and they do not need to pay any gas fee on certain blockchain networks. So at first, we're going to introduce the Signpass on Polygon network and the Signpass on BSC network. In the future, when we are able to batch the signatures and reduce the gas fee on Ethereum, we will be able to introduce the Signpass on Ethereum as well. And also it will be a limited edition of Signpass, where it's an NFT that allows the users or institutions to give access to be whitelisted to sign contracts on every blockchain networks of Ethsign. So it can be something we can create more business model, including subscription, something like that. But it was something we think that's really, really cool, and it can link, and all the NFT that we are going to issue will be listed on the NFT marketplace, and also we're going to airdrop some. So stay tuned for that as well. So something just to something more I just want to add up at some points here. So essentially, think of a Web 2.0 user's point of view, right? If they want to use a Web 3 or a D app, many of the times they are frightened by all the technical details. For example, like blockchain, crypto, addresses, gas fee, gas token, all that. They just mess up with their heads and stuff. So essentially, we want to create a seamless UX for not just for Web3 ecosystem, Web3 good of community, but also we will also want to beyond the crypto world to impress the Web2 world, right? So right now, when they log into Ethsign, they can already choose their traditional social logins with Taurus and Informatic, and then they can link with their email addresses and to give like an email notification when they received or signed a document. And they can be whitelisted and not need to pay any gas fee by owning this NFT. So and they'll be able to don't worry about gas fee at all. So the whole process that we're trying to build is an entry point for Web2 users to enter into Web3 as well. So this product, crypto and blockchain, was supposed to be a global solution at the beginning, and we're not trying to eliminate ourselves just in Web3 world, but also providing this decentralized solution to the Web2 point of users. So that's what we want to do in the future as well. And we're actually going to announce some partnerships in some use case with different platforms and protocols in the coming weeks. And I'll just although I cannot disclose the names right now, but I can give like a brief rundown of how each one we are going to do. So the first one is actually we're going to partner with a asset-backed token platform. So through this partnership, the asset-backed token platform will be able to provide the borrowers with the same off-chain electronic signature experience without the need of conventional notarization processes. Borrowers will be able to execute contracts and agreements digitally on-chain, and therefore significantly reducing the friction in a DeFi to CeFi lending process. And also, the on-chain signature will be bundled with underlying collateral and distributed to the ecosystem partnerships as proof of identity and legality. Essentially, think of in real world asset wants to go on chain and mint it into asset-backed token, how and signing process is inevitable in the whole workflow. And we're trying to set a standard and set a benchmark in this scenario to provide a more thorough and more clear, transparent workflow working with asset-backed token platform. And the second use case that we're going to introduce is with DKYC platforms and with the Launchpad. So essentially, although Ethsign does not require users to upload upload their own KYC to the platform. But in many use cases, or in many cases, in signing contract, you need to provide a KYC. For example, it's an investment contract, SAP, SAFE, etc. You need to verify your KYC. So we're going to work with a DKYC platform, and essentially when users, they upload and they finish their KYC process, they can directly go on Ethsign and sign the SAP, SAFE, whatever, and to go onto the launchpad and to trade or buy cryptos and stuff, and to participate ICO and that kind of interesting scenarios. And we are going to integrate Ethsign into both of the workflow to essentially create a seamless a transition and seamless process during the whole experience. And that will be also very exciting as well. All right. Everything I've talked about is with Ethsign 3.0, which is a document signing or PDF signing platform that we introduced in the beginning of July. So if you guys are interested, please go on ethsign.xyz and try it. Sign your first document. Sign your first document today. And actually, after we've been carefully or detailed discovering into the PDF signing world, we find that when you sign a contract with different parties, it's not the end of the contract, because after you sign the contract, the execution becomes important. How are you going to execute the terms will be something that's very important for both parties or for multiple parties, right? And right now, all the digital signing platforms, they are not handling the execution part in the whole workflow. Therefore, the next phase of eSign will be it will be a self-executable terms embedded into the traditional PDF signing. So essentially, we are making some of the terms in the contract to be self-executable between third parties to bring automation and trustless environment to everyone. Think about right now, it's a globalized world where international contracts and cross-border operations are happening more and more often. Especially many of the times, the contract will be only will only have like small checks and like small amount of period of time. If they have conflicts during those scenarios, it'll be very hard for a party to come to the other countries and to press charge or to sue the counterparties for not committing the terms, right? So essentially, that's where our next product, which is called a smart agreement, comes to place. The smart agreement essentially will be divided into two parts. One is a smart execution. The other is escrow of funds. Okay, and let me dig into some more details. Here we present a generalized smart agreement workflow that mostly breaks down into 3 steps. First, we need to define a data source where live data is pulled from. The data source can be either on-chain or off-chain, as we use chaining oracles to fetch off-chain data. And also, we are probably going to use Gelato KP3R, not just chaining keeper. Then we need to define a trigger condition. This can be any comparison operation, such as greater than, less than, or equal to. We also need to provide an expected result or threshold value to use as a comparison. Lastly, we need to define the execution logic. It will be a simple font transfer as seen in our freelancer use case. I'm probably going to explain that as well, but it is also entirely customizable for our users. We plan to release a few official templates that covers the majority of use cases. Execution logic is triggered once the trigger condition is met, and all of it is done automatically thanks to chaining keepers and other automation tools. As I said, we are currently working with some first scenarios or some use cases with some leading players with our smart agreement. But we're not going to provide this whole general smart agreement framework right now. We're going to customize some big use cases with a freelancer platform within DAO, investment DAO, and also some other credit lending platforms. So before that, we're not going to outsource this as a platform, but users can already get a taste of what smart agreement can do to the world, right? And after those customization, which will be around 3 to 4 months, so the beginning of next year, we will be open this platform, a general platform, to everyone that can build their own use case on top of it. And that's what we're really excited about. So really make the contracts to be not just signed or stored in the centralized versus decentralized storage blocks, but also focus and emphasis on the execution part, which we will believe is the next which we believe is the next phase of how contracts will work and the automation will work in the future. Yeah, I also mentioned that we are going to have some use cases in the investment DAO scenario. So essentially, right now, the same framework can be easily used in a KPI-based investment. Funding can be released to the project team based on the progresses. We're actually customizing scenarios for investment DAOs because, as you all know, the investment DAOs, they raised more funds than ever before. For example, BitDAO, they raised more than 500 million USDs in the treasury, and how to manage that treasury in a more transparent way within all the DAO members is very essential and is what they are trying to focus on, right? And essentially, we will make investment DAOs, will make investment like DAO to DAO lending, distribution, and lockup terms more credible and accessible for all parties involved by replacing the human factor in the execution with code. Human would say that humans or manual work is not trustworthy, right? But code is. So Ethsign smart agreement will be embedded into all that workflows to create a better scene in the DAO environment as well. And yeah, that'll be all from my presentation today. And feel free to ask me or seeing any questions. And please follow us on our socials. So our Twitter is essentially Ethsign, same as our LinkedIn. And also you can go on directly to our ethsign.xyz, our website, to join our Discord and our Telegram as well. Thank you all, and great to meet you all. And let me know if you have other further cues. Appreciate it.